Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Roots of Life podcast. It is April 21st on the day that we are recording this, so I want to give a special shout out to Tyler Strangways for being our top Patreon supporter and always believing in us. So thank you so much. And of course, we love the rest of you as well. If you are just learning about the Roots of Life podcast, you can go to rootsoflifepodcast.com to find out more, track back to some even cooler episodes. Well, I don't know if they're cooler, but they'll be cool, that's for sure. You can find us on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, and if you do feel like supporting us, you can hit up patreon.com/roots of life, where you can make small denominations and get some extra content, some of our content earlier, and all that good stuff. Go check out the Instagram at Roots of Life Podcast. You can see a lot of inspirational quotes and beautiful pictures that James posts to help you all get through your day. Thank you, everybody. Stay tuned and enjoy the episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 22 of the Roots of Life podcast. That actually sounded super cool to say, but on another note, my name is Taylor. I'm one half of the host on the Roots of Life podcast, joined by He Only Does Everything, James.
Hello, everyone. How are you on this fine day after 420? It is today, April 21st, but you won't be hearing this until the end of April. So let's get into this. Today we are talking about some elections stuff and then a fun little topic afterwards. The elections for BC, where we live, are coming up on May 9th. So we thought we'd talk about our thoughts on voting and where you can find the political platforms, and then maybe some new legislation that we know about.
I'd like to throw out the disclaimer that I know nothing about politics.
Neither do I.
So this should be interesting if anybody wants to shine a little bit of knowledge in my life and tell me where I can learn some politics or stuff about politics. I would not be opposed.
I'm actually really excited because I usually kind of just make a blind vote. I've been voting since I was 18. And I just go in on voting day and I say, this guy seemed funny, or this guy seems like he knows his shit, or whatever it was. But planning this episode out, I've obviously looked up links so I could kind of have a little bit more information. And I found that it's super easy if you just go to icanparty.ca and you can find the election that you're going to be voting in, and you scroll through and it has all of the platforms of the different parties that are available for childcare, education, employment, environment, food and agriculture, healthcare, all of those things. And they're just basically compared right next to each other. So it's pretty cool.
Jimmy, who is in office right now?
Liberals.
The Liberals?
Yes.
I have to say, it doesn't seem like they have a very good reputation at this point.
No, they don't.
Christy Clark does not get a gold star beside her name.
I mean, maybe like a brown star. Just because she's shit.
Well, could we deform that star into like the little poop emoji?
Yes. You get a little poop emoji.
That would represent Christy Clark quite well, I think.
Yeah, especially for most people's opinion of her.
Yeah. Again, I don't know a ton.
No.
All I hear is the negative things that she's done, and obviously, that's the first thing everybody is quick to point out, right? They're never going to talk about the good things that she's done, but they're always going to point the finger as soon as she does something that the public can criticize her on. And again, because I don't follow politics very closely, that is really all I see and all I hear about is the negative things that she's done.
Yeah, I agree. That's the same. I always want to be more in the know when it comes to politics, but I find it's so dry and boring, and I don't know. I'm just never really gotten into it. I feel like I should basically just because that's the future. Like, these people are running the place I live, the laws and everything like that. You don't want to put in somebody that's going to start the next world war. I mean, when it comes down to like municipal elections, that's not really going to happen if it's provincial either. But say if the next prime minister, if he was just this like warmonger, we wouldn't want that. So it's good to like know who these people are in a sense, which is crazy because it would be such a weird life being a politician, in my opinion, where no matter what you're doing, you're being watched and you're being like criticized on anything. It's worse than even being a celebrity, because celebrities are allowed to go crazy and still be celebrities. When you're a politician, if you go crazy, they won't let you be a politician anymore.
Well, look what happened with Rob Ford.
I know. Smoke a bunch of crack and now you're not a mayor.
I don't think anybody in that position, like if you're doing, something that can, I guess, affect your mind in such a drastic way, like, are you really fit to run a country, essentially? And like not a country, but in his position, he was mayor of one of the largest city in our country.
Yeah.
So he holds, I think, quite a bit of influence.
Yeah. It's a weird situation to find yourself in, I think. Or even for like the people that voted for him, especially like, wow, I voted for that guy and now he's done this. He's done a lot of good otherwise, but awesome. He's like guy who smokes crack. And I mean, I'm sure there's lots of functional people that smoke crack. I'm sure there's a few of them at least, but I would say probably not many. So I don't think it's the best thing to be smoking.
No, and there was a lot of other things that went into his downfall, but also, like, rest in peace to the guy. I don't mean any harm to his name or anything.
No.
He's just one example of that we're, I guess, bringing up. But even, outside of the celebrity and the political realm, there's even just now with social media, like, you can say anything and you're just giving everybody the opportunity to discredit your name and discredit your words.
Yeah, anybody can say anything to you and you can kind of say anything back. And it's a lot more anonymous too, so you don't know who you're talking to. It's just this like cat lover 69 or whatever it is. I was gonna say pussy lover 69, but then I thought maybe people won't get that I meant cat. But it's funny. Anyways, Taylor, what are your thoughts on voting?
Now, I'm probably going to come across as a huge hypocrite because I'm going to be the person who says that you should vote. You should put your best foot forward and try and create change. The idea that every time you spend $1 is a vote for the way you want to see the world, right? Every time you buy something from a company that is employing children across seas for 50 cents an hour, like you're telling the world that's what you want, like you approve of that message. And so to sit here and bitch about the way the world is does not make any sense if you're not going to try and do something about it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's like big issue now where people don't, like, they talk about things, especially online, like they have an opinion about something, but they're not actually creating change, but they think they're being quote unquote activists of some sort because they believe in a certain cause, but they're not doing anything actual for that cause. So I think that you should vote, find out why, like you said, like you blindly do it. Me, I did do that, I think, when I was 19 or 18, when I was first able to vote. I had kind of just learned a little bit, and then it was like I went in with the intention of voting for the one person that I wanted, and then I realized that I could vote for 10 other people or something. There was like different people in different categories. I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah.
But so I ended up like voting for a bunch of people. I was like, I don't know, like your name looks cool, like I'll vote for you. And so I think to be educated on it is important. And then I think you should. You're not doing anything wrong by not voting, I don't think, personally. I know other people who would disagree, who say that, you have to vote. Like and especially like with what we just saw in the presidential election down in the United States, it was like everybody had to vote, and because there was so much on the line, or so it seemed anyways.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I think everybody should vote. I think you should become a little bit educated, learn where your morals lie within the political world. Who do you have faith in to lead, and then you should make a vote. And if not, it's not the end of the world, because personally, I've never seen change that like come from an election. I've never seen any substantial change in my lifetime that I've been able to recognize. Also, like, I am pretty young, so maybe in the next 10 years or something, where after a few more, I'll kind of see how those things shift and how they change and move around from having different leaders in power. What do you think, Jimmy? Should everybody vote? Like, or do you think it's important to vote?
I definitely think it's important to vote. Like you said, though, it's really important also to be educated on what you're voting for. I said earlier that I vote blind. I don't always vote like completely blind. I do read a bit of stuff before I go in. Usually, like, I'll read the newspaper sections on the different platforms for whatever parties are available, and that's pretty much like the extent of my research, and I go from that, which isn't always the best, because it depends on the newspaper that's printing it, but I'm sure some things could be written in a certain way that it makes it sound like what they're trying to do is less important as something else, depending on who that newspaper kind of like backs or whatever. But I don't know if that's necessarily a problem in Canada. I know it is in a few other places in the world. But yeah, I definitely think it's important to know what you're looking for, who you're voting for, before you go and vote. And I do think it is important to vote, because just reading the platforms on iconparty.ca, I could definitely tell there's a heavier emphasis on different parts, things that need to be done, like different stuff in the health services, different stuff in environmental, and things like that I feel are really important. And one party's not doing it. One party is kind of like in the middle, and then one party's like all about that one thing, it seems, for pretty much every different topic. And for a couple of them, I think they focus too much on certain things that I don't think need to be focused on at this point. So I've kind of decided like who I'm going to vote for because of that. So,
well, I think that's something to consider as well, that a lot of the times you're voting on people that are supporting your lifestyle, especially in a place like BC, where, I live in a city, and so I have a city lifestyle, and there's certain parties that cater to that more, where there's also people who, live on the coast, and so the ferry is a big one, and there's one party that is pledging to lower ferry costs, and so for these people who have to literally catch a ferry every day, that's appealing.
Yeah.
And then there's other parties that are not even talking about it, and that's where people, like, I just want to like reference the presidential election in the US, is that one person's talking about something, and there's a reason that he appeals to that a certain geographical place, right? Or like the population within that geographical location and so people are so quick to be like, you voted for Trump, like that's a bad shit, like you're a bad person, or you've got bad morals. But just because they voted for him doesn't mean that they like agree with everything that he's doing. But when the man says that, if you vote for me, I'm going to do all these things for you because I believe in whatever, then there's a reason to vote. Like I said, I don't know what the parties are saying. I don't know what they're promising. I don't know what their agendas are moving forward. But I think if I was to go through them and read these bullet points about we're going to do this and we're going to do that, there's going to be one that is very specific and probably pointed towards certain places. And I think Vancouver having like probably the largest populace in BC, the party that can, get their point across to us is probably going to win the election. And that's going to leave a lot of people out of the picture in terms of the people that live up north and the people that work in mills and people who live on the coast and fish for a life and all that kind of stuff.
It comes back to that whole, we only hear the negative stuff because not everybody is going to be happy with whoever's in. There's always going to be somebody who didn't want that person, and they're not furthering an agenda for that person. There's probably none of the things that they're doing will help that person out directly. So there's going to be a lot of people that are upset. They're like, I'm not getting anything out of this person being in office. I don't like it. Here's why. This is what they've done wrong. So there's always going to be people that are on the negative side that don't want what's going on. So I think that's important to remember. Like, sometimes you're hearing negative things, but those negative things you're hearing might be just because where you're living, it's not helping you, basically. Those people might be doing something great for like all of BC, but it doesn't really like substantially affect where you live or something.
Yeah, I think it's just smart to be aware of those things because it bugs me, when people are so quick to judge somebody else, because that was a common theme down there. Was a lot of people, when they did the polls, the Clinton Foundation, her team was so positive that they were going to win the election, but because people didn't want to admit they were going to vote for Trump. But when they got behind a closed curtain with the poll in front of them, or the voting ballot, they did. And then, so there's like that place is just so divided, right? Like,
yeah.
That happens so fast. And
it's
I would
weird
hate
with the two-party system as well. It's either you're either left or you're right. There's no like in between. I mean, we're not much different. We have like at this point 3 it says here. I thought we had conservatives as well, but what I'm looking at, it says there's Liberals, NDP, and Green Party. So yeah, it's weird. Like, we only have 3, but it kind of gives us that like there's a left, there's a right, and there's kind of an in between for each topic. So it's better where you can be like, okay, I picked the guy who's the medium on this one, left on that one, whatever. Because in my opinion, I don't think you should necessarily be left wing on everything or right wing on everything. That's extremism to a point. I think it comes up with each topic. You could be right wing on one topic, you could be left wing on another. So it's good to see these parties that they are like that. They're more diverse. They're not as rigid in their thinking.
No, I totally agree. Just because you're right on one thing doesn't mean you can't be left another. People are so quick to put you in a box and just categorize you as whatever it is that, they think you are, or, they're willing to put you in a box because of one statement that you made. And that's not like that, like you said, like that's just so extreme. It doesn't make sense. And I've seen people be just bashed and criticized on social media, people who have like thousands of followers, and then because they make one little statement. But if you listen, like in this specific case, there was previous content where he had explained his stance on other things which are very far left, and so it just didn't make sense. People would make statements and say things based off of one fact, and you just have to like keep an open mind and be aware that there's multiple perspectives and people do different things for different reasons, and you just gotta be supportive of everyone.
So I kind of want to switch gears a little bit. We're still going to be on the topic of basically like laws and legislation. Recently, the Liberals introduced bills to legalize marijuana by July 2018.
Hail the Lord.
So it's a little later than everybody's that everybody thought. Everybody was kind of like April 2017 it's going to be legalized, but obviously these things take time. You have to draft bills, you have to introduce them, they have to be signed off on. But what these are stating is that marijuana will be legal for adults 18 years of age and older. And I'm not sure, but I'm assuming that just like alcohol, that's going to be different in different provinces. Because I know it's 19 here in BC and it's 18 in Alberta. So I think it'll probably be 18 in Alberta, and then they'll just bump it up to 19 here, just so it's the same with alcohol. I'm not sure how that all works, of course. I'm not very political. Another part of that was that new penalties in terms of selling cannabis to youth or a young person could range from simple police citation with a fine or up to 14 years in jail, which is
Wow.
pretty unheard of. The probation officers that I know, we were talking about this, and they were stating that they don't really know anybody that's ever been to jail for 14 years. They say like some of the worst people they've ever heard of, it's like 5 years and then like probation. So 14 years is a very long time for Canadian jail system.
I've met inmates in like medium security
Yeah.
correctional facility or penitentiary, whatever. And there was people in there doing 20 to 40 years.
Oh, really? Okay. That's probably, you know what? That's probably why they haven't met them, because like
It's because they're
still
not
there.
here. Yeah.
They don't get the people that are coming off on like probation or parole or whatever. Yeah, they don't have parole,
True.
which is like more serious crimes, which is where they would be meeting somebody else. So basically, all that I remember from the article, that yeah, they're trying to have it legalized by July 2018 or 2018. There will be fines that are pretty high. I think there's like up to 10,000 or more, and then up to like 14 years in jail if you're selling to a minor. But beyond that, oh right, they'll also let you grow up to 4 plants, I believe, on your own, and you will be able to have up to 30 grams on you, which is a lot. That's almost 2 ounces. It's 2 grams less than 2 ounces. No,
No,
I'm wrong.
that's an ounce.
Yeah, it is.
An ounce is 28 grams.
Yeah, I was thinking of pounds to ounces. That's what it was, because 16 ounces to a pound.
So on the topic of marijuana, fuck the political side. Jimmy, what did you do to celebrate 420 yesterday? Tell me you smoked a ton of weed, got perma-fried, played video games, and ate junk food.
I didn't smoke any weed.
I didn't either, so.
I sat at home and watched some Netflix for a while, and then I walked downtown. I still play Pokemon Go, so I was doing that for a bit, and I purposely went downtown to where I assumed I'd Googled it, where I assumed there would be like a 420 celebration, so I could walk through and be like, cool, kind of get like a secondhand high for my 420. But there was
Why
like,
didn't you just go buy a joint?
that I was thinking about that as well, but when I went down there, there was like 5 or 6 picnic tables with like some groups of teenagers and some like degenerate adults that like didn't seem very friendly, and like that was it. There was like one kid that yelled "Woo 420" at 420, and then the rest of them kind of just like chilled and smoked their bongs like in hiding, like under jackets and stuff. And you're like, man, this is like the grungiest 420 I've ever seen.
Dang, that was not what Vancouver's 420 was
No,
yesterday.
I love Vancouver's 420. It's a great time. But here it was just, I was like, no, not going to
I was very unfortunate to miss 420 yesterday. I wanted to talk about yesterday from my perspective as a whole, because it was interesting enough, and I was sad to miss the festivities, even though some people would say it's not a festival. We're supposed to be activists. Okay, but y'all are like walking around with your titties hanging out and blunts out your mouth. Like,
It's a festival.
it's a festival. Okay. Anyways, I missed 420 yesterday because I got called to go to a studio session from a job that I had previously quit. and I decided to go in, help them out for the day. And I wish I could say the name of who I was working with, but I just can't. But it was one of those artists that some people would lose their minds to be around. People would freak, like girls would run up on stage and all that kind of jazz. So that was a really cool experience.
Like
And
internationally famous.
it was a really cool experience, and I'm grateful for that experience. Nonetheless, Raekwon from Wu-Tang was performing yesterday at 420. And so I'm so upset that I missed that. And also the People Northwest, which one of my coworkers is the producer for. Shout out to Marlo. And there's also a couple really dope local rappers who are with that group as well. And I saw some of them perform last year at 420. And we've just been blessed the last couple years at 420 because like in the last 2 years we moved it from the art gallery to the beach, and the last 2 years on 420 have been like amazing sun warm filled days. And this year I saw these pictures of like girls with their tits out, like just like blunts hanging out of their mouths, and I would have loved to have been there.
Just want to go for them titties.
Yeah, so marijuana 2018. So that means we get one more 420. Woo!
Man, that's gonna keep going forever. I hope so.
Yeah,
Anyways.
but once it's legal, it won't be the same.
Once it's legal, it can be bigger.
I don't know about that.
That's true.
Pretty
I don't
big
know,
as
it's
it is,
huge.
man.
Like most of Vancouver goes.
Yeah.
People come from all over. The one time that I went, like I think 3 years ago, we got on the ferry, and like halfway across they threatened to turn it around because there was like a cloud of smoke coming off the top deck. They're like, we will turn this boat around.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they actually say that?
Yeah, and they had like their security like come around and like tell everybody to stop smoking weed, and like they're like, we will kick you off. They're like, we will call the police, and you will be taken in when we get there. They're like, this is a private like facility, like boat. It's not a public place.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's next level.
Yeah, they were real upset. It was kind of funny though.
Wow. I can only imagine. But on that note, I'd like to take a quick break, come back, and we will move on to our second topic of the day.
They say money doesn't bring happiness, but everyone still wants to prove it for themselves. They say money doesn't bring happiness, but everyone still wants to prove it for themselves.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 22 of the Roots of Life podcast. If you've enjoyed episode 22 of the Roots of Life podcast so far, you can go back to rootsoflifepodcast.com, where you can listen to more episodes of the Roots of Life podcast. Now, it is that special time of day where I get to ask one deliciously fancy question. Jimmy, what tickles your fancy?
What tickles your fancy?
It's just good morning.
So I have grown up my entire life with some form of a garden. And part of that has always been I go and pick fresh herbs from the garden for whatever it is for dinner. So there's always been like thyme, rosemary, like chives, all sorts of things. But my favorite two of those are basil, because I use that in so many different things, especially fresh basil. I love it I like to do naan bread pizzas with fresh basil on top and some like balsamic vinegar. And I also like making drinks with basil, like a basil mojito, so good, or basil julep, amazing. My other favorite is lemon balm. Now, lemon balm has a lot of awesome medicinal properties in terms of it kind of makes you happier. It helps with like easing depression and things like that. Not in like any drastic like SSRI like kind of way, but it does apparently have certain effects that are helpful. But I love making iced tea out of lemon balm. I actually was going to do a tutorial video on how to do that years ago. I still have the content. I don't know where, but I still have it somewhere. And it's just so good. It's just the best. Making lemon balm tea and drinking it on a nice hot summer day. Oh, so good. Anyways, what tickles my fancy is fresh herbs. I mean, there's another herb that I really like as well. We just talked about it. It's really good.
We like herbs.
I like herbs.
Yeah.
Taylor, I have a very simple question for you. What tickles your fancy?
What tickles my fancy is that time of day when your stomach kind of starts to rumble. You may be a little famished. And then, what do you know? There's a bakery to your left. You decide to walk in. Next thing you know, there's tons of beautiful little pastries. Next thing you know, you have to decide which one do you want. And then all of a sudden you see the dark chocolate Nutella banana bread pudding. And then you get it. You bite into it. And your world has changed forever. Bam! What tickles my fancy? Dark chocolate and Nutella banana bread pudding.
That sounds so amazing. I might just do the 4-hour drive to come and get one.
Yeah, I honestly didn't even know it existed until about 40 minutes ago when I had it for the first time.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I was pretty hyped on it, and so it was kind of a game changer, and I'm kind of upset because I am recording this podcast at my new studio on Commercial Drive in Vancouver, British Columbia, and this bakery just happens to be straight across the road. And so that's not a good thing. It does sound like a great thing, but
I was going to say, that sounds amazing, but Taylor's going to get fat.
yeah, pretty much. So I've already ditched yoga almost all week because I've been in the studio every day.
Ditching yoga, eating treats.
Yeah. So I'm not too excited about that one, but I am also quite excited about that one.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was really good. I like treats, but yeah, so that was a good one. Topic 2 on episode 22 of the Roots of Life podcast.
We thought we should go with something a little bit more on the fun side after getting all political with you. So we decided to ask what you would do if you won the lottery. And we have 3 categories here. If you won the $5 million lottery, the $10 million lottery, and the $50 million lottery, what you would do in each scenario.
I mean, would it even really make a difference?
Oh.
I'd probably do the exact same stuff.
But $50 million compared to $5 million, we can probably get rid of the $10 million. I mean, whatever. I'm just thinking that's double what the first one is. So it's like you have this much money, double it. What do you do?
And this is something that we all want you to get in on as well. So feel free to hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, email, rootsoflifepodcast@gmail.com, @rootsoflifepod on Twitter. Tell us what you would do if you won the lottery. Because I know what I would do, but I want to know, Jimmy, what would you do?
What would I do?
What would you do if you won $5 million?
Okay, $5 million. Now, this came across. This topic came up because I was talking to my girlfriend about it. We were joking about buying another lottery ticket and then not checking it because I did that a while ago and it's still tacked up on the board in the kitchen. So she asked me what I would do if I won the lottery, and I told her, and she was upset with the amount of money I said I would give her. So, because I said I would give one of my best friends $1 million, and only like 500,000. But I said, you get to live with me though. Like, I'll take care of you. That's kind of just like spending money. So, yeah.
Ashley's getting all worked up.
She's like, no, that's not enough. Why do you give him more? So I was like, we have a deal. Like, we made a deal a while ago. Anyways,
that's funny.
I would buy myself a house. First thing, Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. Maybe like 3-car garage though, because I like cars.
So a decent size house.
Decent sized house, like not a huge house, but like a large garage for sure.
Okay, but you've got a 3-car garage, so you've got a pretty big house.
The house doesn't have to be that big. Like it could be like 1,000 square feet. I'd be fine.
Can you do like the concrete around the back side of the house where you park the cars in the back and you've got a
totally.
separate garage?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like something like that. It would probably have like I'd probably buy somewhere that I could get like a lot of land.
That'd be gangster though.
Yeah, somewhere that's like not really in the city or anything. So I'd try and get like a couple acres or something like that. Just like a small house, doesn't need to be crazy, and then just make it look nice. I would probably have a few cars. I'm a big fan of BMWs and Audis, so I would probably have one of each, and then maybe something more fun, a little faster. Maybe something like, I don't know, a Ferrari. But that's like a lot of money when you only have 5 million. So I don't know. But I would definitely get a BMW 5 Series, because they're a little smaller than the big boats that are 7 Series. They're a little bigger than the 3 Series, not as sporty. They're like the nice business class in between. They're nice. Instead of that big like boaty gangster beast of a car, or that like quick zippy one, it's just that nice like in between. It still has the power to get there, and it's not too big, so it's perfect. And maybe like a Audi R8, but that's expensive. So maybe just like an A6.
So basically you're spending all your money on a house and cars.
No. That would probably be like, that's probably like 2 million out of there, just like total. That'd be good. I still got 3 million left. I'd take 1 million of that, and I'd split it up into 5. And I would put it into savings. I'd put 1/5 of it into a locked in high interest savings for a year, 1/5 in for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So every year after that, it unlocks, and I am able to either use that or recommit it in for another 5 years. So it's just a continuous interest gaining amount.
You've really thought this out.
I learned that in finite math in my first year of university. So I was just like, yes, if I ever win the lottery, that is my plan right there. You just continuously make money on it. And I would probably buy my parents' house, just buy it from them.
Buy it from them or for them?
I'd buy it from them, so I would own it.
But why?
So then it's mine. Because I paid for it.
Are they selling it?
No.
Well, then why would you buy it?
Well, because why do they need to, like, if I'm going to, like, pay for it for them, like, I'm their landlord now, I'll take care of it. Why do they need to worry about owning it?
I guess so.
Like, I don't know.
I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like...
I mean, if they wanted to move or something, sure, and you wanted to hold on to it, like, because you have that childhood attachment to it.
Yeah. I just think like I'd buy it, and then they have like the freedom to do whatever, and it's still just gonna be there and like available for them and stuff, you know? Then they can use their money for other things.
What makes you think they would sell it to you?
I don't know. I don't know. I never thought about that. Maybe they won't.
What's next?
What's that?
I said, what's
Okay.
next?
I also have a bit of a deal with John Gross. We both stated if one of us wins the lottery, we will give some to the other. So I'd have to give some money to John. Depends on how much I win. So I mean, like if this is the 5 million, I don't know. I'd probably give him like 500,000, maybe more.
That's fair.
Yeah,
He's a good friend.
yeah, he's a good friend, long time. So I think at that point I'm probably like out like 4 million at this point. So I got another $1 million for like travel.
Spend that shit.
For travel. Go around the world, check some stuff out. Obviously, if I had more money, I'd be putting more money into all of those things, getting more awesome cars and dirt bikes and things like that, and making my house awesome. Maybe like build a roller coaster in my backyard or something. Because
A roller coaster.
why not? Why not?
Because why not?
Right?
Hashtag because.
Hashtag first world problems. Taylor, what would you do if you won the lottery? Let's go with 50 million. If you won $50 million, what would you do with it?
Holy bejeebus.
Can you even think of that much?
Yeah. No, I really have no idea what that even looks like in cash. Like, literally have no idea.
I have trouble thinking about what $400 looks like.
Yeah, I mean, who carries $400 in cash anymore?
I know.
Right? I mean, it's all on cards. But anyways, if I won $50 million, I'd probably buy like 4 pieces of property, all like modest size. Like I'm not saying I'm buying like $100,000 house or a $200,000 house. Like probably spending like $2 million a piece. Probably building one down in like Mexico or Brazil or some shit.
I love it.
For vacations. Obviously, I'm buying a cottage up on probably Mount Washington or up in Whistler, so that I can travel or like go somewhere in the winter so I can go on vacation and go snowboarding, or maybe in New Zealand because New Zealand be gangster as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like probably 3 or 4. I'd probably have like one place somewhere tropical, one place on a mountain for the winter, and then probably like 2 or 3 houses.
You could Airbnb those things for like top dollar when you're not there too.
Exactly. And then it's like a matter of traveling so I can go to different places when I'm, like when I'm sick of one place.
Yeah.
I would probably build a studio, like easily dump like $2 million into a studio and then just do shit with it. I don't even know. I haven't really thought that far ahead. But if I had a bunch of money to like dump into a studio and build stuff and record cool shit, that'd be dope.
That'd be sweet.
I'd be into that. And I would probably take my girlfriend traveling. Fuck it, you're not working, I'm not working, we're gonna go traveling for the next like however long she wants to. I would hope like a year or something, or 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And what else would I do? I don't know, man. Get like a jet ski or some shit.
I know it's weird to like think like, what would I do if I had all this money? I don't know. I don't have that much money.
I know. What would you do today if you had that? I would literally hop on a plane.
You'd just
I'd be gone.
go and get on a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would probably go to the airport and I would probably look at the screen with all the different places and I would be like, where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? Where do I want to go?
I've always wanted to do that.
I'd be like, well, the plane to Japan doesn't leave for 4 hours. The one to Argentina leaves in like 40 minutes. So I'm going to go to Argentina because it's quicker. So, yeah. I would probably go hiking. I would probably go traveling. I would probably go down to the Amazon, check out some ayahuasca retreats, just do a bunch of cool shit, build some properties, invest in some properties, probably buy. I would probably not go crazy on a car. Like I would probably try to find like a 91 3 Series BMW and then like dump an extra $100,000 into it to like just really find it out.
Those are
like make it dope.
Like the 90s 5 Series are like my favorite cars.
I'm a fan of the 3
I know.
Series.
You had one for a while.
I
It
know,
was
and
so
that's why I
nice.
love it. I was like, I love this car.
Yeah, I know.
It's also
I
like
just
my
love the
first
fives,
car.
man.
So
They're so nice. Like the 540. Ugh, just gets me going. I almost bought one. I almost bought one when I was looking for cars. It was in Vancouver, and the guy who'd like owned it previously, he was like a robotics engineer, so he had like kept it up tip top shape. It was like so nice, but I just didn't buy it because I knew it would be expensive to fix if I had to.
right, you just gotta find someone who knows them.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I did. I managed to do that for like a number of years, but then once like the head gasket went and the head cracked, I was like, there's just no way I'm fixing this thing. Yeah, and I tried. Like I dumped like probably another $2,000 into it, and it got me nowhere. And so I just took it as a loss and had to move on.
Yeah. Like, well, there we go. That's done. Yeah, that's actually been like a dream of mine to just go to the airport and just like pick something off the board and say, I want to go there. I've always just kind of wanted to do that. I think it'd be cool.
I know it would be super cool. The thing is always just like it's a matter of having your finances in line at home and like making sure that you're not worried about anything.
Yeah, exactly.
To be able to do that, to be able to just like fuck off for a couple of weeks or whatever and not have to worry about the consequences.
Yeah. I mean, like if I had the 50 million, I'd just probably like pay off all my debts and like all the family's kind of debts or whatever there is and just get on a plane, like quit my job. I mean, I'd probably come back and like keep working, but I'd definitely like quit my job and go travel for a little while if I won that much money. Cause I'm just one of those people that I go crazy when I don't have enough to do. I don't
You know what we could do, Jimmy?
What?
Is we could take a small setup and we could go and record the podcast on a beach in Mexico.
That would be amazing. We could just like
Yeah.
we could just travel and record from everywhere. Talk about like the different lifestyles, the different people, and all those things. If anybody out there wants to bankroll this dream of ours, feel free.
I would so fucking do that.
I'll quit everything and go do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd be gone in a heartbeat.
Yeah, somebody's like, "Here's the money. Go travel and do your podcast." Be like, "Okay."
Yeah,
Peace out,
yeah, I'd be
everyone.
all
Don't
over
even
it.
care. I'm out doing it.
Straight up.
No,
That'd be
I'd
awesome.
care. I'd feel bad if I ditched everybody, but I'd still probably do it because
I
that's
would-
one of those
I
things
would
like you
ditch
don't get
everyone.
the chance to do that ever again. So
No, that's the thing, man. When the opportunity presents itself, you have to take
yeah,
it.
you just got to take that
right?
one. That's one of those.
No,
ones.
you can't think of the consequences. I mean, like, in terms of relationship stuff, like, you know, I think people will always be there, and some people may give you a hard time about it, but you just got to do those kind of things because those things don't come up.
Yeah, no,
every
that's one of
day.
those ones. It's like, I'm sorry, but I got to do this. This is amazing. Like, I hope
Yeah.
you're here when I get back. If not, like, I hope the best for you, kind of thing. But this is something I
Our
gotta
girlfriends
do.
are gonna hate
I know they're
us.
gonna hate this episode at this point.
They're gonna be like, "You're leaving."
We hate
You
you
would leave.
both. Why would you just leave us? I'm sorry, but that's an amazing opportunity if it happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure they'd probably do
Yeah.
the same.
I'm sure they would, but you know, it's just I don't know. It's one of those things. It's hard to say what you would do until you're in the position
until you're like,
to do
okay,
so.
I gotta actually be in this position where like somebody's telling me to like leave everything and everyone I know.
Yeah, totally. Topic 3 on episode 22 of the Roots of Life podcast is Ako Taco.
I just like the image that I just had when you said that was this like very large Mexican lady in like a bikini on top of a table with a taco. And like it just made me laugh because that's like an awkward situation.
Where do you even come up with that picture?
Just the way your voice sounded when you did that.
Man, I must have said that pretty good.
Yeah, you did.
I must,
That was great.
I must be practicing or something.
Just in the mirror,
practicing before we get on the air.
Awkward. Anyways,
Jimmy, why don't you introduce the awkward conversation for this week's Ako Taco?
the awkward conversation for this week's Ako Taco is telling someone you don't like their friend, boyfriend, or girlfriend when you know that person won't be a good fit for them or won't be a good person for them to be around.
Ooh.
Awkward.
That is awkward. That's a hard. I don't even know that's an awkward conversation.
That's just a hard conversation.
That's a hard conversation to have.
Yeah. I mean, because that could go like a few different ways, but it's either going to go like, hey, you know what? You're right. They're probably not the best person for me to be around. Or like, fuck you. I don't want to talk to you ever again. Like,
Yeah, that can go multiple
I feel
ways.
like those are like the two main ways that might go. I'm creating a false dichotomy here, but I feel like that's it.
No, and you never really have any way of telling what way that is going to go. You really have no idea until you've said something to them. But I want to bring this close to home because we've been in this position before, me and you,
Yup.
where I did not approve of a particular person that Jimmy was spending his time with, and I noticed it was just unhealthy for its own reasons and whatever. And I remember contemplating on it for a day or two, and I was like trying to figure out, how do I tell Jimmy? Like, do I tell him? Do I say forget it? But I felt like I had to tell you, and then eventually I did.
I'm really happy that you did.
I'm glad. You seem to have, like, I remember when I brought it up, you were like, "Oh yeah, no, like I know."
Yeah.
and I was like, "Okay, well, I'm glad. Like, I'm glad you're not getting mad at me for stepping out of line or anything."
No, like for me, like if somebody's being honest and they're trying to like do it out of the kindness of their heart, like, hey, I feel like this isn't a great place for you. I totally understand that and I appreciate it. Whereas like if you were just like, you know what, I didn't like the way she looked at me, I'd be like, whoa, hey man, like who cares? But
yeah,
like fuck you. But no, I definitely liked that you were able to do that and come up to me and be like, hey, this isn't cool the way it's working out for you.
Yeah, I think that's a conversation that you have to approach very delicately.
Yeah. I mean, we're even being kind of diplomatic about the way we're going about it right now. We're not like trying not to say names or things like that. So it's definitely just one of those topics. It's just hard.
Yeah, but to come at it from a very soft and caring position, whereas some of the previous awkward conversation that we've talked about, it was just like, no, like you got to come out and say it. Like you just gotta like be there. And, yeah, you got to be blunt, you got to be strong, and you got to be like, fuck no. But this one, it was very much of, I was saying it because I literally thought that it was not in your best interest, and it was coming from a place of sincerity and kindness, and because I care about you.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because I was like, well, he's spending more time with her or whatever. Like, I don't even think we were hanging out all too often
I
at
don't
that
think
point
we were,
or
like,
anything.
all the time.
No, it was just we had. I think we saw each other. It was like two, maybe 3 days in a row, or like within like a week, and this other person had been there, and I just noticed like the way the interactions were happening and the way stuff was, and I was like, this is weird, and it doesn't feel like, I feel uncomfortable being here, and it wasn't good, and so I like just wanted to like try and make sure that I was doing my due diligence as a brother and as a friend in your life.
Yeah, I like that. I appreciate it. It's my life is a lot different now, and I really like that. So
It is.
yeah,
It's for the better.
yeah, definitely for the better. So awesome.
You're not a daddy.
Nope. Oh, well.
Cat's out of the bag.
Whoops.
So that
That's
is the Akko Taco for the week. How to tell somebody. I don't even know if we really addressed how to tell them. Well, you just have to do it make sure, if you're going to do it from a place of kindness.
Yeah.
Do it from a place of sincerity. Don't do it from a place of jealousy. Don't do it from a position out of selfishness or for your own benefit.
definitely.
I think that's the key.
Yeah, definitely take the time to like see about how you're feeling about the situation and why you're feeling that way. If you're just jealous and upset about it, like think about why, and maybe address those concerns. But it's not necessarily like a good reason to tell somebody you don't like somebody because you're jealous. So think about those reasons and go with the sincere, like, I want your life to be better, I want you to be happy kind of reasons. Not the selfish, I just want you all the time kind of reasons.
Which is a common one, I think.
It does happen.
Yeah. I saw a funny Facebook video a while, or I guess a YouTube video, and it was about the one bro who starts ditching his girl or his boys for his girlfriend all the time, and then finally makes time to spend time with his boys, and his boys are all hyped, and then after they show up, the girlfriend comes out walking around the corner, and then I forget, it was really comical skit.
I think I saw that one too, actually.
Yeah,
Funny.
so it was funny, but that kind of made me think of this. But yeah, thank you everybody for listening to episode 22 of the Roots of Life podcast. We appreciate you. We appreciate and value your time. And we all know that you have busy lives. And so we thank you just for taking the time to listen to this. Our listener challenge for the week is basically just going to be what we had said before. Tweet us, Instagram us, email us. Let us know what you would do with $5 million, $10 million, or $50 million. Either or, your choice. Are me and Jimmy being selfish in the way we would spend that money? Probably.
Yep.
That's okay. Humans are selfish human beings. But maybe you can all set us straight by giving us some other ideas on how we would spend that money. I do want to say thank you, Jimmy, for being here with me this week. I appreciate your time and your presence always.
Thank you. I enjoy when we do this. It's good to talk to you. It's good to have you here. So thank you for being here and taking this small amount of time out of your day. I know it's a busy one today, so thank you for taking that little piece.
Yeah, I get to see Mama Jean today.
Mama Jean.
And Grandma Jean. Not that her, well, I don't know. It's Grandma Robertson, I guess. But her maiden name, no, not even her maiden name. I guess Jean is her name from her first marriage. But my grandma.
Good to see your grandma.
Yeah. So to put it easy, put it that way. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us this week. We will be doing one more episode, two more episodes before I leave for Vipassana silent meditation in the middle of May, where we will then release a couple cool episodes that are a little different from the Roots of Life format. So keep your ear out for that. We will talk about it a little more in the coming weeks, I think, just to keep everybody aware. And if you are a Patreon supporter for the Roots of Life podcast, you will be getting your bonus episode coming soon, close to the end of the month. So stay tuned for that as well. Thank you, everybody, for your time. We hope you all are enjoying, well, I hope it's nice weather. It's really nice here in Vancouver at the moment. So, and we hope that there is sunshine in your life. And we will see you all in 1 week.
Thank you, everybody. Stay weird.